Good morning, everybody. It's Cowboy, 8:30 a.m. EST, and we are about to jump right into things. Going to jump into the data first. I don't know if I looked at this yesterday with everybody, and I think I did, but we're going to look at it once more because it is an important week in the markets. Yeah. So today, price so far the last couple of days has been very boring, right? And that's because there's some pretty big news coming this week that could give us a lot of volatility towards the end of the week. So we might not have a lot of big opportunities for the moment. Unless price kind of just breaks a lot of ranging that it's been doing, it's kind of a boring week for trading. So today, there's really not anything until about 9 EST, right? That's a New Zealand cash rate. That's basically their version of the FOMC. And if you are trading the Kiwi, that will be pretty important. Wednesday, though, at 2 EST is going to be the FOMC meeting minutes. Okay, now that is important because these are the minutes that are taken, the notes that are taken during the FOMC's meeting last week, where they did decide to cut the rates, or was it 2 weeks ago? Either way, it was the recent meeting where they cut the rates by 50 basis points. I want to say that was 2 weeks ago. So, but usually they let the minutes a week later, and I've just been doing a lot of stuff right now. So sometimes a week seems like 2 weeks. Either way, it doesn't freaking matter. Around 2 p.m. on Wednesday, there will be a fair amount of possibility of volatility, right? I mean, it just depends on what comes out in that sheet. If there are any surprises, price might do something pretty crazy. So any trades that are on between now and Wednesday could get knocked out of whack. And then it's even worse on Thursday, or even more dangerous, in my opinion. And that's, I don't know about worse, but let's just say volatile. Volatility is stronger. A lot of people want that. It's not a bad thing. In fact, it's a good thing in the end. But you have the CPI data coming out on Thursday. Now, this is the inflation metric. Okay. And the FOMC makes their decisions in large part based on metrics like this one. There are a couple of inflation metrics that they look at, but this is the one that the market looks at pretty strongly, is the CPI. And then usually the next day you see the PPI, which is the producer price inflation, the CPI being the consumer price inflation. The great thing is that those are both coming out Thursday and Friday at 6:30 a.m. That means that towards the end of the week, an hour before the market open, we're going to see this data come out, and it might give us some great opportunities to trade throughout the day. And this might be why we're seeing such a boring week so far in price not moving a whole lot in any market, crypto, indices, any of that stuff. And I've been looking at them all, as you know, if you're watching this show on a regular basis, which you should be. Just keep watching. We don't get enough people watching this show, I'm just going to cancel it. We do this every day for about an hour for our private members, right? So our private members are actually trading. And so they're able to use this data and do their own research and make choices on trades, right? And I will allow for my algorithms to be displayed while we do this. I'll give you guys a sneak peek here. Let's go ahead and do this. That way you can see what it looks like, when I let the full Monty algorithm be seen. Okay, so as you look at this screen, you're going to notice this like red tab. That means go short. And then you can use these as signals as well. Exit your shorts. If you exited a short here or just simply went long, that's a massive win. And as a matter of fact, with this algo, I've been using the exits as entries, and it's been incredibly successful. And when you're at Algo Factory, if people care to see these kind of things, they're just displayed all the time. So you can enter these. I mean, this is just what the algo said to do. This is several trades going back through the year on the daily. These trades also exist on the 30-minute and some other time frames as well, 5-minute time frame. But they're pretty useful on the 30-minute and on the daily. That's where they're pretty useful. So understand that this data is there for you over at algofactory.tech whenever I'm doing custom charting. So come on over, check it out. All right, good. So let's go ahead and take a look now at Bitcoin. Give me a second. I don't really see a lot happening with it, like I said, in the next couple of days. We're at a very delicate time in Bitcoin. There was a kind of a resistance that price met algorithmically more than anything else. I mean, there was a resistance on the chart. Price did make it up to here. I made some money on this long, and I told everybody price was going to make its way up here days before it did. So everybody in Algo Factory heard about that before it happened. Again, another reason to be with us. But you had an old kind of a top right here. If I were to zoom in, and I may, we'll see that price tried to rally up here back on September 24th, topped out at about 64,000. And then again, price tried to push through that and topped out again. And that is just what happened. And price met algorithmic resistance. And I mean, I could share some of the secret sauce, but let's just say that I knew that there was a chance it would top out. And so I exited right before this big move down. And now price is kind of in limbo. So look at the algos themselves. High time frame, the algos are like weekly bullish. They're just starting to flip bullish. They on the very high time frame, on like the monthly, the algos are kind of flat. They look like they're bullish and taking a break. And that's what we've been seeing for the past like 6-7 months, going back to March, right? Bull market, but then take a break. And of course, if you take too long of a break, the bulls leave the market and then you see a bear market. I don't think that's what's happening. If you look at the monthly chart, this is not a very top formation look. That looks like a bull flag to me. I mean, a classic bull flag. If I saw this just, in the old days when I traded bull flags all the time, because that's just like kind of a newbie thing to do, I would be like, hey, that's a bull flag and price is going to go up, real simply like that. And so if I were to use bull flag metrics, the real simple ones where you just take the flagpole and you move it over to the lowest point in the flag, then the top out, the highest point it would go based on that would be about $98,000. But of course, it could head down a little bit deeper. And if it did, I'd have to adjust that, right? So I prefer to use a Fibonacci extension on this. So instead of using the flag metrics, I will go ahead and I will attach a Fibonacci from the bottom to the top of this impulse that created that flagpole. And then I will see that my high points based on this, it doesn't mean it won't go higher, but my targets to the upside are about 88,000 and about, well, this one's 106. Okay. So that's 105, 106. Of course, there's always that chance the price kind of gets stopped before it can break 100,000. A lot of people, though, a lot of smart people think that Bitcoin is going to go to anywhere between 160 and 200,000. A lot of smart math people have done the math on that, and that very well could be the case. I just have some data that has to do with ETFs and supply and things like that that might actually hold price under 100,000. I know that's an unpopular opinion. I know nobody wants to hear it, but it's not really about what people want to hear. It's about what might happen. We got to want what the market wants. We don't want to be moon boys all the time. We just have to say, okay, it could go to 200,000, it could go to 160, or it could get stopped at about 95. And using this particular impulse on a lower time frame on the weekly, if I were to treat this as one impulse, and it would be on the weekly, then I would go ahead and have targets sitting at about 83.5 and 95,000. So really stopping at 100,000, realistic, breaking 100,000, realistic, 160,000, realistic. It all depends on really, it just depends on the market's appetite. So we've talked about this in depth in the private live lab. I'm not going to go into it too much because there's a little bit of proprietary type information going on there. So look in the comments. I don't see any requests. Go ahead and do a shout out in the comments if you want to see a chart. We don't, oh no, you know what? It's too late. Too late. You waited too long. It's 10 minutes. We are going to flip over to the private live lab. So let me go ahead and get that fired up. Remember on this daily live lab on YouTube, live to the public, if you are a member of the public and you want to see a chart, it might be your favorite frog or dog or whatever coin, or if you want to see what happens with the SP500, if you want to get my opinion on anything, go ahead and ask for it. It's just for educational purposes only, or not to be using it to trade, but I will tell you what I think price is going to do on a given chart. Stocks, Forex, whatever, gold, oil, I do it all. If there's a candlestick, I can chart it. And I actually trade a lot of that stuff. Mostly, though, I'm trading crypto and Forex. Those are more commonly what I'm trading. And Forex on a lower time frame, crypto on a high time frame. So that being said, we're going to flip over to the live lab. We got V the Guerilla here just in time to flip us over to the private live lab. How are you doing, sir?
Good, man. I'm here to flip everybody.
Flip us.
Let's go flipping. Listen to you crazy people. Listen, don't sit on the sidelines wondering if this is for you. you think you should try it out, listen, you go try Rocky Road, but you do Algo Factory. So join us or die, people. Less than the price of a bottle of water, you can join the most dynamic trading duo on God's green earth. Get the insights, the know-how, and the wherewithal to succeed in your trading life. AlgoFactory.tech. Take it away, Cowboy.
All right.